So let's do the discussions. I have here with me Dr. Mambwa Roxon. He is a political scientist, also has been a lecturer in various universities in the United States of America. I love mentioning United States of America. I want to sound like Barack Obama. Well, how was your weekend, sir?
Oh, very good.
Okay.
Yeah.
The NPP had their primaries for a number of the constituencies, relatively, not all of them though. It seems 2 or 3 or so didn't have, but at least 7 had it. What do you want to make of it? Natoshiado, Tema West lost the bid to against stand on the ticket of the party. What do you make of it?
Well, stemming from what had happened earlier on, I think they've managed the crisis very well by keeping some of them, those that were loaded with tension, reserving them for subsequent dates. And I think the Tema one came peacefully, even though the complainant, the chief complainant, Nato, she lost. And I think it's a very big blow. She would forever not be very happy for that, because she raised the alarm first, and they wanted to rectify certain things, and so cleared the other 2 people, and eventually she lost, meaning she was not actually the favorite according to democratic principles. She was not a favorite at all. And so it's a good thing for me that they've been able to go through some of these hurdles to conduct the primaries. And I applaud the General Secretary and the President, the Chairman, for being able to tone down the tension and achieving that particular, especially the Tema West one.
Prior to the Saturday or the Friday, there were news reports making rounds that because of 1 or 2 other injunctions, the whole primaries for the rest had also been suspended. But the General Secretary and the party chairman, they stood on their guns and said they should go ahead.
Yeah, they should go ahead.
Is that the way to go?
Yeah, that's the way to go. In fact, they are the chief. The party, the General Secretary is the commanding officer, for the chief of staff of the party. And so whatever he says hold water than any other person. I think the second person who commands that respect is the chairman. So as long as the 2 of them authorize those elections to come on, they are credible, and they were supervised by the EC in every respect, and so they are legitimate. Yeah. A
number of things seem to have happened to the NPP over the last week. We know that there are ongoing issues. For example, the former president organized a meeting, we're told, according to what the media speculations were secret meetings, so to speak, but also attended by some named ministers or men of God, all in the bid to make sure that the difficulties that they are facing as a party are put to bed.
Yeah.
Are we getting an end insight to all that and bringing men of God to do the intervention? Is that the way to go?
That's one of the very good ways to go, and I think we must applaud. I've always seen President Kufuor as a statesman who, I believe, the events that took place in the Upper East region when the NPP chairman was attacked, it took him by surprise, and that he didn't know that it could blow to that extent. And I think he started trying to put things together to be able to bring the party back to sanity, and that is the right way to go. The first thing you have to do as a former president and a former leader of the party is to call men of God to be able to help you to bring sanity back into the party, and I think that was the right thing to do. The unfortunate incident was that there were talks of a leakage, that
of a tape.
Yeah, of a tape, and
actually,
that is,
I think, played on 1 or 2 other media.
Yes, and that is unbecoming in Ghana. I'm telling you, not only in NPP, but in the political circles.
Because that meeting was not attended by small structures.
Yes,
it was attended by big wigs.
Big wigs, and I don't know who really taped that and made it out to the public. And I think there are very mischievous people who are playing for the sake of money. It's all about money, how you would put a tape together and go to the media and be able to make some money out of it. And I think that is ridiculous, and it should be stopped.
Okay.
It's not the right thing.
We're still talking the MPP. We'll let him have a bite on what we're talking about, following up the primaries that were convened over the weekend for at least 6 or 7 of those constituencies, and we're told 2 others remaining. We have 3 others, I should say, Kwesimin team. We also have Esulawusu's constituency, and also Klotekole here in Accra. And so 3 of them remaining for the MPP to wrap up. And then the signs will be on the other parties, the NDC especially, which is the ruling party, the CPP and the others. We'll be joined by the Director of Communications for the CPP, Niyama Kumfra. He's looking around the studio somewhere, and so we'll get him onto his seat. We're taking a break. We'll be right back. And joining us is Niyama Kumfra, Director for Communications, the CPP. Thanks for joining me.
Pleasure, as always, to be here. Good morning to your listeners.
You had a hot
viewers.
weekend, I can say.
Well, the weekend's always hot.
Okay. We're talking about the MPP, the primaries thereafter. We're told that the former president also tried to make efforts to bring together some men of God, to do some interventions, to make sure that the dust is really settled among perceived factions that he doesn't think really should exist at all within the party. I think the primaries and then subsequently that.
I think if you're MPP, currently your heart will be bleeding because of the situation that's going on. You will also be perhaps encouraged to feel that moves are being made by, if you like, the grandees of the party, former president, etc., to try and find a path. But all of this actually tells us that the cracks within the MPP is very, very deep indeed. I mean, for many, many months or for many weeks, they've tried to pretend as if nothing is happening, business as usual, everything can go on as normal. A by-election has been fought with, without the chairman, without the general secretary, and clearly the center is not holding. You know, so it's become a very dysfunctional main opposition, and Ghanaians really are at a loss when you have a failing government, you have a dysfunctional opposition as to the path. And we certainly want to be the party that offers them hope, you know, the party of independence and the party that has the solutions to this country. As I've said, I think if you're MPP, you will be encouraged to think that there are some moves, but you know, how long is this going to go on? You know, and as I've said before, you have a flag bearer of the MPP, you have various leaders of the party, and they are seemingly incapable of bringing the center together. It's taking, if you like, people who are not currently in leadership position within the party. You know, it has to be said, you know, if you're seeking to be president of this country, you have to be able to at least unite your party, at least bring heads together, and that's currently lacking in the main opposition. You know, and I'm sure MPP supporters are very, very disappointed, are very, very discouraged about what's going on in their party.
Okay, and bringing the men of God is the way to go?
Well, I think it's an attempt that people in the party are seeking to make. They've tried different things. They've tried to rely on the people themselves, you know, to see the self-interest, the party interest or the national interest, none of which, all those appeals have not worked. So I think there may be a feeling that this is the last attempt, bring the men of God on board, and they may be able to perhaps appeal to the various factions, the various interests to, and you know, this may be their last chance saloon. You know, if the men of God cannot bring calm within the main opposition, then I think, you know, many in the MPP or many MPP followers will feel that you know, their party is now set to disintegrate completely. You know, so okay. They really are. The situation is dire for them.